This is big breaking emergency news. We are now seeing multiple cities being warned across the country right now that they are in danger. And if you are in these cities, then you are in danger as well. And things are getting so bad that they are about to deploy troops on the street, all right, in multiple U.S. cities right now. This is about to happen. So let's dive into the details here really quick. Please just hit it up for me down there. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. I'm posting multiple videos a day, keeping you guys updated on all this big, urgent news, right? So multiple cities are being warned right now, and they are warning that they're about to deploy the National Guard onto the streets. All right, that's what they are warning of, and that's what they are planning for, officials are saying right now. So this is a warning because this is a sign that these cities are not safe. They are in danger, and if you are in these cities, you could potentially end up in a bad situation, right? So this is just another reason to get out of these major cities. And I know it's hard, right? But that's the goal. That should be your goal, is to get out, because things are going to keep deteriorating, and we are going to see this happen in more and more cities where things get so bad that the National Guard and troops on the street become normal. And this is just a breakdown of our society. And now this is being announced in Ohio and Illinois as well. So Ohio and East Cleveland, the East Cleveland mayor just put out a emergency request for the National Guard to be deployed in his city. East Cleveland, Ohio mayor is now begging the governor to deploy National Guard to the streets of East Cleveland. All right, so Mayor Brandon King has made this emergency request to help protect the streets, because he's saying his police force is too small. All right, so this is also happening in Illinois too. But this is a sign. I didn't realize that things were this bad in East Cleveland. All right, I didn't understand that. I knew these big cities are all deteriorating, but even Cleveland is now fallen as well. Right, it seems like it's a lot worse. Let me know if you guys live in the Cleveland area and what you guys are seeing. All right, because, and this is what the letter says: I am formally requesting your assistance for the Ohio National Guard and State Defense. The East Cleveland Police Department has been reduced by more than 50%. Safe and timely service has become a matter of grave concern. Right? And also it says the East Cleveland Police Department has been hit hard by officers indicted for corruption or use of force. It says the city is also very poor and sometimes violent. All right, so they've lost over 50% of their police force just recently. That's what they're saying. And they're saying that there's a internal corruption issue on the police force as well, which is something that is dangerous to deal with too, okay? Because it compromises the safety of the city as well when things like this happen. So he is saying that they need the Ohio National Guard and State Defense to be deployed. All right, so this is also a similar request was put in for Chicago. Okay, leaders and officials in Chicago, union leaders, are requesting the governor to deploy the National Guard to the transit system in Chicago, Illinois as well. All right, a very similar request has been put in, and they're saying that they want to model it after New York. All right, so is this just going to be the new society that we are building, where every major city has to be protected by the military because things are so unsafe and so out of control? all right? And I've seen some videos of these NYC subways, all right, and these different subway systems, and they're wild, all right? Some of the things that happen on there, the attacks, the craziness, the characters, all right? It is risky going in these situations, right? And they've just allowed it to get so bad that now the National Guard is being deployed. There also have been deployed at, quote, migrant hotels that are all over New York as well, okay? Because the situation has gotten so bad at these, quote, migrant centers and hotels, which have been converted into just housing, essentially, that the government or city is paying for, the state government or the city. And these places and the surrounding areas have become so unsafe as well that cities like New York have deployed the National Guard to guard and stay stationed at these centers too. All right, so this is an intentional collapse of our major cities, okay? I don't like going into big cities. I'm not particularly fond of it. Sometimes we do, all right? Sometimes it's fun to do something there, but 99% of the time, 99 days out of 100, I'm not going to a big city, all right? But you have to understand the value, the economic powerhouse value of all of our major metropolitan areas. Like, this is what builds our economy and is the powerhouse of our country, is these big cities where a lot of people live and a lot of people are working and trading and making money, all right? The rural areas are too, all right, for farming, for production, for assembly, manufacturing, things like that, all right? That's critical too. But they are shutting down our cities just like they're shutting down our manufacturing. It's all been shipped overseas, okay? Moved to different countries, the production, because it's $1 cheaper per unit. So they just move it to whatever country, right? All over the world. And this is what they're doing with our cities too. They're being allowed to collapse internally from the inside out. And this has been going on for a long time. They didn't just wake up and East Cleveland is collapsing. The police department. This has been going on for a long time, and it's now reaching a peak, a tipping point where you can't even walk down the streets in some of these places. It's not safe. It's not recommended, right? And some of the videos coming out of some of these major cities, Philadelphia, Portland, are insane, right? The living conditions that people are living in, it's sad too, right? I feel bad, but it's also, it's too much. There needs to be a stop to this, right? It's been allowed to go on too long where it's not really compassionate or helping anyone. I don't know who this is helping. It's hurting people at this point. Everyone involved. It's having a reverse effect, okay? So please hit it up for me down there, guys, to help get this warning out. East Cleveland mayor is now issuing an emergency request to the governor to get the National Guard deployed in his city. All right, he's begging for him, saying, please, police department has collapsed. This is happening, and I reported on a couple months ago, right? Parts of Philadelphia, their entire police department is just like offline for 12 hours a day, right? The whole time at night, maybe not 12 hours, maybe 6 hours is more appropriate. From, the late hours at night, they were telling people that they're not going to respond to any calls, okay? And your call will be screened by an AI monitor when you call, and they'll see if it's actually an emergency or not. So they'll decide if they're going to respond, and if they don't even need to show up, then you'll just have to file a report or whatever, okay? And people were even saying this for things like, people come into your home or something like that in the middle of the night. They're even saying police taking 4, 5, 6 hours to respond to these incidents, and it's over. Things are over with by then. All right, so make sure you have security too, right? For yourself, for your home. It's important. As these things are gonna collapse, there's gonna be more chaos, right? People acting irrationally, people taking advantage of situations that they normally wouldn't. Okay? And you could be in the mix of that. So it's best to be as far away as possible. That makes sense for you, right? I know not everyone can just live super far away from a big city because you gotta work. You have commitments there, family there, things like that. But your goal should be to move away from these things, right? And it doesn't have to be a ton, right? We're only on 1 acre out here, right? We're working on our homestead here. We got dozens of chickens, right? We're getting the garden fired up for fall because it's 100 degrees every single day. Nothing's growing in this weather. Not even okra. Not even the okra will grow down here when it's 100 degrees every single day. And the tomatoes aren't going to blossom, right? They're not going to flower. None of the fruiting plants are going to put out flowers when they're going to have blossom drop with these temperatures. So we're about to get fired up for fall and winter because we grow through winter, right? Because there's no frost down here. Maybe very rarely we'll get like one, but your plants can take a light frosting, right? It's not that bad unless it's a deep frost where it's holding it for hours and hours, which is extremely rare. We might like dip down into the frost zone, but I've never had any real damage from frost, at least down here. All right, so make sure you guys are getting prepared, getting ready, staying safe. All right, because we're going to see this in more cities where things are just getting so bad where the military is just going to have to be deployed in every big city. And our country's wide open, all right? These criminal organizations they have their tentacles all up into our country, okay? And they have networks, all these things just flooding into all the major cities. And that's also contributing to it as well, having our country completely open right now and defenseless, essentially. That's a major issue, okay? And these networks are getting their tentacles deep into these cities, and they're committing organized crime, organized gangs. All these things are happening right now. And they're even recruiting people, even people that wouldn't normally be in it, people that are coming over here that are just even normal people. They then get recruited into these networks that are already established in these cities. All right, so that's another problem here because some of these people are desperate coming over here. They don't have anything. And so some of them are getting involved in some of these networks. Okay, and it's a big recruiting thing going on. I've made whole videos on it, how law enforcement is extremely worried about it and tapped into it. All right, so thank you guys. Hope you guys are getting prepared, getting ready, staying safe. All right, I hope you guys have big blessings for your life, your family, your homestead, and I hope you have a big old blessed day.